spending money and telling us our reserve has increased, why we need to do very important things in the country.
And I strongly believe that if those refineries are fixed, we're going to be creating more jobs for our youth. Well, and then unemployment will be a thing of the past in this country. For refineries working, it will be a good one for the Nigerian economy.
Knowing fully well, the oil sector is the sector in Nigeria that brings a whole lot of income into the country. So I think if this is put in place, everything that needs to be put in place is being put in place.
All right, still on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, I'm reading on still on the top edge of the paper, graft, seconders, orders will soon be docked, and that's coming from the presidency. You want to know why? You can get the Daily Trust this morning, and you get that story on page 3 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Buhari on fresh 4-day medical trip to UK, and that's coming up on page 5 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And on the bottom strip of the Daily Trust newspaper, I have $2 million ransom. Drama as Lasji rearranges Evans. Get that story on page 35 of the Daily Trust newspaper.
That's very interesting. Excuse me, I saw the story yesterday. Read his story where he complained that they don't feed him, they beat him, and all of sorts. And in mind, I wanted to, I wasn't there to ask him. You know what it feels like when you put people into trauma. What it feels like, you kidnap people,
lock away people.
Sometimes they kill the persons, and people's family are in turmoil. I mean, how is it feeling now?
It's very amazing, because when he came out to say this, obviously he was expecting some kind of VIP presidential treatment
for kidnapping people.
It's funny. And
let's go ahead.
In jail, there is no such thing as good food. So what is it saying?
So this, if you ask me, is one good turn deserves another. So you just face the brunt, brother. I know it feels like FG to remarks people behind companies' property, and that's coming from the secretary to the government of the federation. Find that story on page 17 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And finally, on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, 27 Ekiti APC aspirants demand fresh exercise. And why are they demanding fresh exercise? You can get that and more on page 13 of the Daily Trust newspaper. And that does it for me on the Daily Trust newspaper. Over now to Anthony for the next paper review.
Okay, we have here on the Vanguard newspaper, we have here killings plotting to instigate war in Nigeria. This is coming from Buhari, President Buhari. We have here Gwaska massacre. Death toll hits 58. I'll take that story on page 9. Okay, it goes here. Death toll in the weekend, armed bandits. In the weekend, armed bandits attack on Gwaska community in Benegwari, local government of Kaduna State, has hit 58, with more bodies recovered from the town and surrounding environs. Meanwhile, former governor of the state and a chieftain of People's Democratic Party PDP, Senator Ahmed McCarthy, has condemned the killings. I'll go with the writer here that says federal government has established permanent battalion in Beningwari. Meanwhile, the Kaduna State government and President Muhammad Buhari have reacted to the dastard attacks in Beningwari axis. A statement made by Governor Nasirel Rufai, Senior Special Assistant
I
on
think,
media and publicity.
Yes, that's Rufai's assistant,
yes.
Governor Rufai's assistant. I think that creating a battalion in that area is very important right now.
It's a good development.
We need to look at the areas where we have incessant attacks and killings. And so creating one battalion there, that's just good for that area.
I think it's a strategy that needs to be deployed, to other areas where we have this insurgency going on.
How many do we have?
Another perspective I'm even looking at is, how long are we going to sustain these people being there? That's another area we need to look at. If they keep them for a short period of time, and then when they find out that normalcy has regained in that area, they retrieve these guys. And when they retrieve these guys, all those guys reattack.
But do you have enough security agencies? That's why I keep saying on this program that we should begin to look at private security owners, agencies, and let's begin to look at them and see how we can infuse them with government. That's partnership.
Well, we have the joint task force, and we also have the vigilantes who coming on board to assist.
The vigilantes are even different from the private security owners, where you see these guys, even in our estates, in the community, they wear uniforms, and some of them, maybe the manager is allowed to carry a gun. If we begin to do private partnership with those kind of people, because some of them are enlightened.
In as much as I accept to that, I still want to believe that these guys are not well equipped as our military guys.
No, when we're doing private partnership, they might give them guns. When we're doing private partnership,
will they get the right training as our military are getting? Will they get the right training as the police are getting? Will they get the right training as the navies are getting? Will they get the right training as the Air Force are getting? There are issues we need to look at before we can infuse the private security.
I'm not really bothered about that, because a lot of these private sector security firms, they train their staffs from the US,
but not as rigorous
maybe I should come in here, blessed. Maybe
I'm
you don't know
about that. What I'm bothered about is, will they be infiltrated? Will they be used as a weapon?
Okay, I mean, can I answer that so we don't go too far into this? If you say, will they be used? Some of this private partnership, if you've seen the way they operate, you'll be shocked. I went to visit my cousins, one of the estates on the island, and you wouldn't go in the estate. They will first screen the car in case you're carrying a device, an explosive device. Then they will have to call the owner of the house to find out if he's expecting any visitor. It doesn't matter where the number of the house is. And if they say it's not, you will not be allowed in. These guys are trained. Some of them are flown abroad. Some of them, they bring people to train them. And if you see the training, it's not different from the kind of training you see from our policemen, our army, you know. So if we look at things are not going well, just like you get your local vigilantes, you can't bring these people into it. And private partnership, they need monies. So you give them the money and they give you guys that are well trained. I think this is important, but let's move ahead.
Okay, we have here 2019, why federal government must tame a rising wave of insecurity. And this is coming from Atiku. Former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has observed that as the country marches towards the 2019 general elections, the current wave of insecurity will increase, hence the need to beef up security. Abubakar spoke yesterday when he visited survivors of the recent suicide bomb attack in Mubi, recuperating at the Federal Medical Center FMC in Yola and Adamawa State Capital. Okay,
that's that one, and that's the Vanguard. We'll move on to Punch this morning. Buhari embarks on 4-day medical trip to UK today. We also have Evans Whips says they've not been feeding me and they're beating me. Saraki Dogora reports IG to Buhari over Senate and Milaye. We have here Ogun APC reunites as Amosu visits ex-Governor Oshoba. Federal government starts scheme to support power distribution, Fashola. And the one we'll take finally here is police lawyer bought new knives to kill husband. This came in from the police. That's the woman, the lawyer that killed the husband.
And the report was...
this is not a good news
at all.
I don't know what will make you take a knife and pierce into someone else's body.
Your husband.
Not even, let's forget about husband.
Another human being now.
A human being.
Another human being now.
That is another barbaric act. That is a wicked act. That is devilish. That is, I don't know what to say.
We did condemn it last week when we talked about it.
I really want to see, I really want to follow that story because we have always said, control your emotions. No matter how angered or angry you are, it's very important that you know how to control. You know the time you calm down, you know the time you keep quiet, and you know the time you just move away. I mean, it's very important.
It could be worth it where you take someone's life because of some mere, even if no matter the degree
jealousy
of ever happened.
I don't know. Is it jealousy?
You can't replace a life.
It's not worth it. Okay,
it's a lawyer.
That's all we can take on the newspaper review this morning. And up next, we want to look at achieving true democracy in Nigeria. Well, democracy does not present or does not make anybody perfect. But democracy can make a nation better and healthier. We want to look at achieving true democracy in Nigeria. We'll go on this break. We'll be back with our guest.
Ginger is a very popular spice that is used widely in cooking and can be processed in a variety of ways. It has quite a unique flavor and is an ingredient used in many savory foods. It also has long been used as a remedy for various ailments, whether alone or in conjunction with other herbs and spices. And researchers continue to show just how effective it can really be. Ginger has several benefits as it contains a compound known as 6-gingerol. The compound has so far shown that it might be able to slow or even stop cancer cell growth in prostate, pancreatic, and ovarian cancer. If abnormal or damaged cells are able to start growing out of control, then a cancer may occur. An early test indicates that ginger could hold the key to the treatment. The good news for nausea sufferers is that ginger has been shown to be quite effective at relieving the symptoms. Nausea can be very unpleasant symptoms and can have a variety of causes. Ginger has long been used by sailors as a remedy for seasickness and can also help patients recover through nausea symptoms after surgical operations. Many people have difficulty controlling their blood sugar level. If there's too much sugar in the blood, very serious complications can occur. Studies have shown that consuming just 2 grams of ginger powder every day can reduce blood sugar levels by 12%. It can also make improvements of around 10% in the long term. It also has a positive effect on oxidized lipoprotein, which can have a significant effect on health diseases. Menstruation can be quite an unpleasant experience for many women, with some suffering painful cramps and headaches every cycle. Pain during menstruation is known as dysmenorrhea and is a very common problem. Studies have shown that just a single gram of ginger a day can be enough to reduce both the duration of pain and their intensity. Every day we use our joints, and this results in wear and tear. Over time, this can result in a condition known as osteoarthritis, which is a fairly common ailment amongst older people. It can be very painful and can lead people to be unable to use their joints effectively. Studies have shown, though, that symptoms from osteoarthritis can be reduced with the help from ginger. Infections can really be quite unpleasant, and they can also be very easy to pick up. Though there are treatments available, it would clearly be not to get an infection, but ginger could help. Ginger contains a substance known as gingerol, and studies have shown it to be very effective in combating infections such as bacterial infections, viral infections, and some fungal infections. Stomach ulcers are painful lesions that are found on the stomach's internal lining. They are caused by a lack of protective mucus that protects the stomach's internal lining, allowing the lining to be harmed by stomach's digestive enzymes. Stomach ulcers are less likely to occur among people that consume ginger powder. One study shows that ginger can be effective at helping to prevent aspirin-induced stomach ulcers, in particular by blocking the activity of the enzymes responsible. One of the main causes of indigestion is a delayed emptying of the stomach, while an inability to digest as effectively as usual is also a common cause. Tests have shown, however, that ginger is able to speed up the emptying of food from stomach, which helps to prevent indigestion. Heart disease and high cholesterol levels are very closely linked. High cholesterol levels can lead to the buildup of cholesterol in the arteries, potentially blocking them. This can be and often is fatal. The cholesterol that is responsible for heart disease is known as LDL. A study was undertaken on people with a high level of cholesterol, which showed that in 45 days, 3 grams of ginger powder a day caused a considerable reduction in the cholesterol levels. Another study in rats shows that ginger was able to reduce cholesterol levels as effectively as atorvastatin, which is a drug used for this purpose. Oxidation causes stress in the body and helps to cause it to age over time. All parts of the body are affected, including the brain, and this leads to complications in later life. Ginger has antioxidant properties that helps to protect the brain from oxidative stress, helping to prevent complications such as Alzheimer's and dementia.
Welcome back. We're looking at achieving true democracy in Nigeria. When you say democracy, you are saying the community, the poor, the rich, trying to put people into office. That is just democracy. And the occupier of those positions has no option than to begin to demand acceptance from the people. Treating this topic this morning, we have our guest, Honorable Princess Folashade Olabanji Oba. She is a politician. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's been long we saw you here.
You're still keeping up.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
You look good.
Thank you.
Now,
Welcome to SuperDawn.
Now we're looking at achieving true democracy in Nigeria. I want you to assess your assessment of democracy so far in Nigeria. What's your assessment?
I think we've done well. It's all about the people. It was so much needed from 1999 to now. I still would say a big thank you to the father of the Fourth Republic, General Abdul Salam. And looking back, I think it has done more good for Nigeria than anything else. It has opened us up tremendously. And the people that matters, everybody counts. Everybody is just as special. So you have people voting, obviously, to elect their leaders. And the leaders also accountable, to the people, because they know without those people, they won't be where they are anyway.
Okay, looking at these indicators, some people have said that, well, we are striving, we have tried, but some people said we missed the road somewhere. Do you accept this?
Well, I'm still going to go back to the people. Nigeria is the word that bonds all of us together. But our attitude, and I'm talking the people and the leaders, obviously would get us to that great nation that we need to get at. But all the good stuff that has happened to us since 1999, I'm talking of the mass employment, civil service. For me, one of the best is the GSM, okay? Because I know how life was, before then. And really, it's been growth. Shut up the corruption, which, like our president has said, that is something we needed to quickly address so it doesn't affect the great future that we have in the country.
Okay, Ma, looking at the present administration and how things have been going on for the past 3 years, people have been clamoring. The past administration, people clamored for change, and that's why this one came in. When you look at things in Nigeria, as regards the opinion of the people, what we want and what the voice of the streets, what the people are actually clamoring for, would you say that this present administration has done well as regards listening and governing the people?
Well, I would definitely say yes. It wasn't business as usual, obviously, when we came. And I'm saying we because I'm a card-carrying member of the All Progressive Congress, and so I must disclose that. But the truth be told, that the impunities had gone on for so long, and a lot of work needed to be done. And because a lot of Nigerians, as at that time, the suffering and all that was so much, we want that pain taken away, like right now. And I think that is still what is at the heart and driving this present government. But it's not something that only the president can do. It must be a total collective effort that really we all want the Nigeria of our dreams. And it all starts with us. And that's why we have the program. It all starts with you. Are you really the best Nigerian you can be? Can Nigeria count on you? And so in whatever level that you find yourself, don't think you're an island, because really, really, on the bigger picture, we're still one. And what one person does affects the other. So we must all be accountable and we must all be responsible.
Okay, in true democracy, it means that the voice of the people needs to be heard.
Yeah.
And from reports, most people actually voted the President Buhari in because they felt that he is very proactive as a military man as regards security, insecurity, and the likes. When you look at the past administration, the past government, the past president, people said he was being too soft. When you look at true democracy, would you say we need a little bit of military rule in democracy?
No. Democracy is democracy. No mixing, okay? What President Muhammadu Buhari stands for in all ramifications is that word integrity, okay? A lot of issues that we had that got us to where we are in Nigeria today was the lack of indiscipline and, people just doing so many things and thinking nobody was there to put them in check. Now, the security aspect obviously is also very important because as at the time we took over the government, so many parts of Nigeria no longer felt they were in Nigeria. And I'm talking Boko Haram. I mean, so many local governments where their flag was flying. It was a no-go zone, really. I'm happy to say that that is no longer the situation now. You know, obviously, you're still going to have little bits of incidences here and there. But for all of us, we must see beyond ethnicity lines, religious lines, you know, because those are really the main issues that we're not looking at for one another as brother and sister. We must realize that we are here for all of us. And so if as a good neighbor, you notice something different or whatever, you look at a lot of the killings that we have in some parts of the country now, and really there are things that could be avoided if all of us are really doing, you know, our work. The military, and I'm not talking only the army now, the total force, okay? Yeah, I want to say a big thank you to them. It's not been easy, okay? I mean, if you go to the IDP camps, you will know that definitely this government works.
Okay. Okay, no, continue.
Yeah, because even a lot of the people at the camps do not even want to go back home because they feel they still have some relative form of stability, you know, no matter what, to want to go back and, you know, but the president response is right on most times, okay? I mean, this last one we had the dark chief, you know, and if you look at the space at which all hands was like everybody on deck for that, as compared to when we had the Chibok.
So you're saying it's relatively better?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I'm going to take you.
for that one, 2 weeks, that government was still in denial.
I'm going to take you back to what you said earlier when you started this discussion. You said that Nigeria needed someone else desperately, and they needed someone to come and help them, and we got someone to help. We do say sincerely that Nigerians are satisfied with what they have now. I don't want us to derail away from, but I just wanted you to.
For somebody like me, I think I must talk for me now. I want to say I still have very much trust in this government. It is still very much a work in progress. It is not over, you know. So the first few months, you know, it's like, you know, analysis, data, you know, policies and all that, to making sure we address the issues on ground. And I know so many of that policies, the benefits. I mean, take one, the TS account, you know. We saved a lot of money.
Hello, good morning to you.
I really like this program, and I have to. I'm glad for the program.
It's a bit loud. Maybe your mouth is.
What I really want to say is that I like her question, the question you answer, and I also like some of the answers she gives. You know, we all Nigerians welcome democracy in our country, but it's quite unfortunate that democracy has not really changed Nigerians as per se. It's only those politicians are benefiting. So when you said, I looked at her face, that's really why I want to call. She was smiling. It's only them, politicians,
that are smiling,
or them that are in governance, are really enjoying the democracy. Hardship is out there. You need to check it out. The issue of Boko Haram, you know, putting their flags or the incumbent leadership succeeding in, you know, fighting them to remove their flags or, subduing them in some states does not really make any meaning to me, because people are being killed every day. Every day. It's even worse than the past administration, which is contrary to what this current administration told us. They said they will put a stop to it completely. But every day, people are being killed in Adamawa, Yobe, Benue. In fact,
so you need to wrap it up. You need to wrap up so that we allow the people.
I am one of the people that, don't think this change. We fought for it, and we are getting the opposite of the whole things that we hope for.
Can you please wrap it up so that we allow other people?
We need a complete change this time around.
Okay, thank you so much for your contribution.
Thank you.
But you heard what he said. We needed a change, but people are suffering right now. And you also made a statement earlier. You said before this administration, Boko Haram took over and the rest. But we still have loads of people are dying every day. And I'm saying loads of people.
Honestly, and my heart grieves. That really saddens me that, that's still happening in Nigeria.
So will you say they've done well in security?
Yes.
When people are dying seriously.
Well, hold on. The job of any good government is protection of lives and properties. Now, what we had to face at the same time, at the issues that are being addressed now. I talked about the military, their morale, the equipment, a lot of the terrorists, the kind of sophisticated weapons that they had, and so the welfare of our own officers, then strategy, obviously. So many things have been put in place, which I cannot just go into details because we are
right now.
But yeah, public. No, security is not something you just give out all your stuff, to the public space there. But I just want to reiterate that the president, his heart is very much.
Okay, I don't want us to derail. We're looking at democracy, really. But I just wanted us to clear that particular one. Looking at democracy and looking at the way we're going about it, would you say that we are practicing true democracy in Nigeria? With the way
at least we have it, we're working on it, we're getting better.
I'll come back to you, but we have a caller here. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
As I'm hearing princess, I'm not happy.
Excuse me, please. Excuse me, please. Can you turn down the volume of your TV set? If you turn it down, we'll hear you. Okay, go ahead. You can go ahead.
And as to hearing princess, I'm not happy with this government. Because the government is good. Even of that, Mr. Obasanjo would have not been talking about this government. And I feel that they've